So it's time for my personal favorite segment of the show, From the Soapbox, where we dive into the spicier side of things. Obviously, Mantis is very data-driven when it comes to shooting. Has there ever been a time that you have seen someone teaching someone firearms, or maybe on YouTube showing something off on a firearm where you're just like, oh no, let me help you with some cold hard facts, or anything that really just
squirming.
hits a nerve?
We see it all the time. Probably the thing that stands out the most is at some of the shows. This does not apply to anyone that's watching right now. Okay, this is other people, but we see people that are very proudly open carrying, and probably shouldn't be. Like when we see the results of their score, oh, well, I got every excuse under the sun. But sometimes some of the guys that are the most excited about being able to open carry should spend a little bit more time training and a little bit less time polishing their revolver. That's as politically correct as I can make it. I don't know.
I don't disagree with that statement whatsoever. I've seen some things. I've known some people. It's just, yeah. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too spicy.
Well, yeah, whether it's gun handling, safety, like all the things that need to be trained, right? So, yeah.
And I understand like YouTube videos are out there to help you and get you go, and that is a good baseline depending on who you watch. Don't watch the guy. I know he's no longer around. Do you remember I don't want to say his name out loud, but do you remember the guy who was teaching classes and just flagged all his circle invention?
Yeah.
Be careful of who you watch. And YouTube content is great to learn and get a good knowledge base, but definitely get a Mantis. Also, go get training with an instructor,
qualified instructor. Absolutely, yeah. Like we're going to support what the instructor says as opposed to conflicting with them or being competitive with them. It's an aid for the instructor. So yeah,
and definitely when you do take a class and you use the Mantis and things like that, always go in with an open mind, because you may be doing something wrong, and the instructor might have something to teach you, and then go back and try your Mantis and see how your score improves.
Yep, exactly. I remember, I don't know what made me think of this, but my first, I'm originally from Canada, but I didn't share that. So they took away the guns. We can't have anything. It's really kind of sucky out there right now.
What part of Canada?
Originally, and this is how it's said, I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan. So not Regina, it's Regina. Yeah. Just leave it at that.
Isn't part of Canada trying to come over? What is it?
That whole, I think it's Alberta.
Alberta, yeah.
Alberta's Canada's Texas. It's they do their own thing. I don't want to offend anyone. It's fantastic. I lived there. I really enjoyed it. But part of the reason I'm such a 2A supporter is because we don't have that. They don't have that anymore in Canada. I'm an American now, American citizen now. But the rights that they did have been constantly whittled away and dialed back. Like the government at the time, when they banned ARs, used an event that no ARs were used in. None of the firearms that were used were legally obtained. None of the firearms used were owned by people that had a right or the legal designation to carry them. So they're all criminals already, and all the guns that were used were already illegal. And yet they used that to ban ARs. And it's just, that kind of stuff is scary. It's really scary.
So I want to pick your brain, because I understand a little bit of Canadian law. I don't understand all of it. I've had some, one of the YouTubers that I've met is originally from Canada as well. We kind of picked our brains about this recently. But so Canada, when they banned everything,
yeah,
like the SKS was huge over there because it was stripper clip fed and it met the requirement.
Yeah.
The other thing is Canada got some cool pistols that the US wasn't allowed to get. They're from China. There was some cool stuff that came out, but I digress. But the other thing that Canada did have that the US didn't have was that backpacker shotguns were huge in Canada, which are which would be considered an SBS in the States. So why did they not go after things like short barrel rifles and stuff, but then go after like ARs and things like that?
Scare tactics. It wasn't practical or realistic. If you're legally allowed to own a firearm in Canada, you are already under the microscope. You could be pulled over at any time for any reason. You give up your rights in order to own a firearm. So it's just other ways to freak people out, in my opinion. And there's some practical reasons for it. Like there's a lot of wilderness and there's a lot of areas where you need to be armed to protect yourself from wildlife. And that's why there was some leeway given for some of those firearms for a while, at least. Now, who knows now?
Yeah, I think they banned everything now.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. They canceled one of the biggest shows, TACOM, this summer. They canceled it. So
that was TechCom wasn't that considered like the SHOT Show of Canada?
Canada's version, yeah. Yep. It was a big show for Canada.
I know it was huge when we sent some guys when I was at Faxon the one year because we were going through Rainier because they did a lot of imports into Canada.
Yep.
It blows my mind. And this just proves why our Constitution is placed that a place like Canada, which is just north of us, was decently firearms friendly until recently, and we've seen the tyranny that's happened up there to get all their rights taken away. And we have our Second Amendment rights for that reason, so we don't get, they made it number 2 for a reason.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. When I first moved to the States, it was funny because my buddies were like, "Did you get a gun yet?" I was like, "No, I'm not legally allowed to get one." But the moment I was legally allowed to get one, I think it was a week before I had my application in. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I always find it very interesting and very humbling when people leave and become U.S. citizens from places where you're not allowed to have firearms, because it seems like the zeal you guys have to protect the Second Amendment is oftentimes greater than many of the U.S. citizens, and even those that would consider themselves gun rights advocates or activists. How did you feel like you kind of choose to share that with your children and instill a love of the Second Amendment in them?
Yeah, so that's a good question, and I get not a lot, but I get some pushback from some of my friends because I am a supporter. Right. Because I believe in it. And, when tragedies happen, it's a really tough conversation to have, with loved ones, and especially with my 11-year-old daughter, but there's a bigger piece at stake. And that's, the ability to just have something that is a constitutional right and that allows you to, not just protect yourself, but exercise your rights, right? It's a component that if it were taken away and any of the other rights on the charter were taken away, it would freak people out. And this one, because it's contentious, people think it's fine to say it's fine to reduce or diminish or impede that right. And it's like, well, if you can do that with one of them, you can do it with any of them. So it's a slippery slope. How do I address that at home? It's an open topic for discussion. And it's something where, I want her to be educated and to be able to make an informed decision, regardless of which side of that topic she's on.